It's a little weird.
All right, cool. So we got like another 20 minutes, guys. So we'll try to get some more disagreements if we can. What's up?
So I wanted to talk to you about like your claim that it wasn't 6 million that died in the Holocaust. I just want to know, what's your basis for saying that? Like, what motivates you to think that that claim is not true?
There weren't enough ovens for the cookies.
So that's like a very standard argument against that. But I think the main pushback is that the gas chambers were not the only way that Jews were killed in the Holocaust. In fact, it wasn't even a majority of the way that Jews were killed.
What was that? Say that again?
That the gas chambers were not the main way that Jews were killed in the Holocaust.
Yeah.
There's plenty of other ways that, and in fact, like gas chambers weren't even the majority of the deaths.
Mm-hmm.
You had death marches, you had getting rounded up and then set into lines and then pushed into ditches. Like the 6 million figure is based on a lot more than just the gas chambers. And honestly, it's quite ignorant that you're saying that it was just, you can't bake 2 million cookies, because that's really like a narrow standpoint. But sorry, you want to say something?
No, go ahead.
So I just think that maybe it wasn't exactly 6 million.
That's my point. That's precisely my point.
But the thing is that what do you think that it is instead of 6 million?
Well, we got data that goes from 271K at best all the way up to the 6 million number. And my argument is simply that we should be able to have that discussion without being canceled and banned everywhere.
Sure, and I can agree that we should have that discussion. But on another facet,
what we can is the problem.
I mean, like in certain circumstances when you're like being anti, which I'm not saying that like
and
that,
that's precisely
no,
why.
No,
like,
you're cutting me off. I'm not saying that having that discussion is inherently anti. You cannot, and I think that most people here would agree that you cannot go and say that most discussions when it comes to the whole 271K figure about how many people died in the Holocaust isn't usually within the context of anti. I'm not saying that it inherently is, but most often when it comes up in the context of anti rhetoric and dog whistles and stuff like that. And we see it all over social media, guaranteed that social media is an echo chamber. But still, like most of these contexts where you're saying it, it's in anti-Semitic context. But even despite that,
anti-Semitism is a bullshit term. It's not real.
Why do you say that?
Well, here's the thing. A lot of Jews aren't even really Semites. They're Ashkenazis, etc. And I find it funny when people say things like, oh, well, you're like, I'm a Semite myself. I'm an Arab. So it's like when people say that to me, it's like, okay, that doesn't make sense. And the other thing as well is that this is precisely why people don't have the conversation, because within seconds of you talking about this topic, you went anti-Semitism.
But I didn't claim that you were being anti-Semitic when I said that.
Well, you inferred it. And that's fine. Like, I don't care.
No, I didn't.
But like, the problem here is that this is precisely why people don't want to have this conversation, because I'm not scared to be called an anti-Semite, because anti-Semitism translation is like, I don't like what you're saying, so I'm just going to go ahead and call you an anti-Semite. But the reality is they can never call me a liar.
Well, the thing is that I'm trying to open this conversation with you right now because you're making that claim and you're not being able to substantiate it, other than the fact that you've just seen studies that is in that range. But have you ever looked into the validity of any of those studies? I don't know if you listened to earlier when I literally explained this. I'm not disputing that it happened. What I am saying is that I don't think the way the official narrative was told to us lines up and is accurate. And the reason why I'm skeptical is because there are certain things or certain facts that were presented that just simply don't make sense from a numerical perspective. And then on top of that, we know that in America derive a lot of their victimhood from the Holocaust. It's $1 billion industry, movies, books, museums, etc. There's an entire economic incentive to protect this event. And it's the only event that you can't talk about openly, and it's banned in almost 20 countries. And I'm extremely skeptical because these are the same people that said a genocide didn't happen in Gaza, and we watched it all with our own eyes. So if they will lie about something that literally happened in front of all of us in 1080p, why would they not lie about an event that occurred back in the 1940s where there was no cameras, very few witnesses? A lot of the witnesses were exposed for writing books and memorials that they made money off of, and they, sensationalized the story. Like, let's be honest, a lot of Jews have lied about it, and they've used it to their own personal benefit. And I encourage you to look up the case of Ernest Zundel, where in Canada, he was arrested for this and charged because it's a crime there. And he actually ended up getting a bunch of expert witnesses, and they did a pretty good job of, kind of beating up the official narrative, right? They brought in a bunch of experts. They cross-examined survivors who admitted that they lied in their books and their memorials for financial gain. Again, I'm not denying that it happened. However, I do think that there's some extremely questionable facets to it where it didn't occur the way that they did, and they have all the political, economic, and victimhood narrative incentives to push that narrative. So then, what about the historicity of the rest of the documents that were used to create?
I'm sorry?
The historicity of the documents that were used to
like the Nuremberg trials?
Well, there's things like the reason that the 6 million figure came up is because of documents that documented like rough estimates of deaths, and also bureaus that talked about
the decline
in
look at documents,
population in Europe.
The Red Cross said 271K. If we're going to look at documents, not one of the documents ever, because everyone says the kept spotless records or meticulous records. There's not one shred of paper that said we're going to systematically exterminate these people. They were labor camps. They weren't extermination camps like they tried to say. Because here's the other thing too that we got to have a little bit of common sense. If they were really extermination camps like people say, then why feed them? Why let them live? Why have them do work? Like why was there a birth ward? Why were children born at all? Like if the goal was systemic extermination, like how they try to claim, then why did they keep them alive?
Well,
the reality is a lot of them died from typhus.
People as labor. That's why you'd want to incentivize having.
Okay, so if they're there for labor, then that by definition means they're not an extermination camp. Well, but that's what they try to say is it's an extermination camp, which doesn't make sense.
That doesn't
because
mean
why would they
keep
them alive?
Exterminate themselves. People who are diseased would be exterminated.
Yeah,
you still have labor being like actively recruited. They had trains going into Auschwitz every day.
A lot of them died from typhus, being in close quarters, and it was extremely contagious, and it was spread with lice. This is why they shaved their heads and had them delousing. So, again, more inconsistencies with that situation. So if it was really about, let's just get rid of these guys, whatever, why keep them alive? Why have a maternity ward? Why keep them alive and feed them? The other thing also that's very important is that the Allies shut off a lot of the shipments coming into Germany, so they couldn't even feed them. So a lot of the people died when the Allies were getting closer and closer into Germany. So, look, obviously World War II was horrible. Let me be clear about this. It was horrible. It was an atrocity. Millions upon millions of people died. I'm not disputing that. I'm simply saying we should be able to have a conversation on one of the most important historical events that is constantly being used to reaffirm a certain group's victimhood that is always thrown out without ever being challenged. And if you do challenge it, they call you an anti-Semite, try to ruin your career or ruin your life. Now, me, I don't give a shit. I'll call it like it is. But there's a reason why nobody here can even have this conversation, and that's a problem in itself. Because we could question the guy all day, but if you question the Holocaust and say, hey, look, I don't know if it's 6 million, you could lose your job and your livelihood for that.
Sure, and I would agree that it's nice to have that conversation, to open that dialogue, but I do think
we can't, because Jews run America, and
okay.
they're pro-censorship, and that's an issue, a big issue.
I think that there's plenty of people that exist in the U.S. government that aren't Jews, and that are also pulling for the same narratives.
Are literally in every main infrastructure of American society, whether it's finance, banking, the government, lobby groups, higher end institutions like the Ivy Leagues, big tech, social media, movie industry. They literally have overrepresentation in every major facet of American society. And look, that's great. They're 2% of the population. They have an enormous amount of control. My issue is they use that control to push for the benefit of a foreign state. The fact that Jews have so much power in America is precisely why we're in the middle of a pointless war right now that's about to be in Iraq #2, which we got into back 20 years ago. And why is it? Because world Jewry, it's a real thing. And, this gets you banned even talking about it. And it's an issue. They run America, they occupy America, and they have too much representation and power in a lot of our infrastructure points that puts us in precarious situations politically. And we're literally about to go to war again for them. Okay. The U.S. enjoys no strategic benefits from the wars in the Middle East, especially this one with Iran. Iran's not our enemy. That's Israel's enemy. They're worried about the ballistic missile program. Those ballistic missiles can't hit us. And the nuclear weapon was a lie too. Like Donald Trump said, we destroyed their nuclear program back in June, Operation Midnight Hammer. And then 8 months later, they were 2 weeks away from a nuclear bomb. Well, which one is it, Trump? Like, did you destroy the program like you claimed before? Or what's going on here? So it's just a bunch of doublespeak.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
What's up?
No, it's not.
You said women deserve...
I would argue is a bigger national security threat to America than Iran by far.
Why?
Why? Because they subvert our government and they lobby us to do things that we shouldn't be doing, like getting involved in foreign intervention in the Middle East. I mean, you're welcome to come up to the mic if you want to have that discussion.
I mean, I agree on that, but you said women deserve less. And so I was wondering if you get boxed and why you glaze Andrew Tate so much. Like, I agree with some of his stuff too, but you seem to bring him up a lot, like yourself. Like, where do you
I literally brought him up one time.
But where do you get your own opinions from that are different from his? Where do you disagree from Andrew?
Okay. Number one, I brought him up once. Number two, he's a good friend of mine. I've known him for many years.
Okay.
And if, showing support or quoting a friend is considered glaze, then you're just low IQ. I don't know what to tell you.
You brought him up more than once, but yeah, I mean.
Brought him up once.
In that aspect.
And even if I brought him up more than once, like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, this is like a low IQ argument.
No, but I'm asking where you get your own opinions from that aren't his.
Well, I mean, I have my worldviews. He has his. I don't know. Like, what we might differ on, I don't know.
All right. But when you said that thing about frats being a control mechanism, what did you mean by that? Like, how is that a mechanism?
Well, I didn't necessarily say that. One of the other guys was saying that, and I expanded on it, saying, like, a lot of the things that we have in place, like gambling, sports, drugs, alcohol, etc., they're all, to distract you and problematic.
So then why do people that engage in those metrics have better lives and have more fun and make more money?
Drug users and gamblers have experienced better?
From my experience, yes.
Okay. All right. I think that's pretty self-explanatory at this point.
I mean, if you use Lease Me too, I feel like you can be successful. But like, it's what you do. It's not about the things you do to yourself, like say the drugs, the gambling. It's if you have that mindset and the IQ. So that's why IQ is everything, and those things don't matter as much.
Yeah, I'm never going to advocate for gambling or smoking pot or drinking booze or being a degenerate. That's not my thing. Like, if you get by doing it, that's you, but understand that that's a major distraction for most men and ruins lives. So, more power to you if you're able to function as an alcoholic or high. I mean, it sounds like you're high right now. I don't know.
Am I?
But yeah.
Yeah? All right. Just make sure you use Lease Me if you're looking at housing, high-income stuff. And then, like, dude, like, what the f*** is a skelly? But anyways, you're saying some of the stuff I agree with. But, like, appreciate your time.
I don't even know what you said just now, but that's fine. This guy is cooked, dude. Bro is on the shrooms or something.
Oh, I like to.
All right, did somebody here say something about, like, you don't want to go? Okay, no? Are you? Yeah, you are? Okay.
Hi.
Every single time. I mean, I'm not surprised that you're pro-Israel. I mean, you're Jewish. I mean, it's cool. And Israel does not want peace whatsoever. Israel wants to be the hegemony in the Middle East and destroy all their neighbors as they've proven over several decades. They invade their neighbors, start wars with their neighbors, and the only reason why they're able to do that is because we give them an enormous amount of political and military cover.
Because we get access to the Middle East, so we can get oil, control the Strait of Hormuz to China.
Well, that's working out great. The Strait of Hormuz is closed right now. That's working out great. Strait of Hormuz is literally closed right now because of, like, war. Yes. And how's that? And that's going to hurt every single American here when they're paying an extra $1 or $2 for gas.
Temporarily, if regime change happens, America.
Yeah, get on the mic, dude. If you're going to go ahead and we can have this discussion.
Talk to me.
Yeah, no, get on the mic then, dude. If you're going to go ahead. Because we can have this discussion, but yeah, see? Okay, here's the reason. He doesn't want to get on the mic because he understands that strategically speaking, the United States derives zero benefit with going to war with Iran.
Oil.
There's what oil? Didn't we just get Venezuela's oil? Like what oil? It's not the oil, dude. We're going to war for the Jews. We just got to admit it. Like, we're literally going to war for the Jews. But if you don't want to come on the mic, that's fine. I understand that it's a losing argument. The defense... Yeah, but you can't defend your points is the point. We have zero strategic benefit invading the Middle East and getting into war with Iran. Absolutely none. We'll go to her. She was here first. Go ahead. You're good. Go ahead. Let her go first. She was there.
Hi.
Yep.
Your statement here, women deserve less.
Yes.
What substantiates that conclusion?
What substantiates why men need to give women less?
Why? Wait. Because what you said was different. You said, okay, I'm reading, women deserve less, and then you said men something give women less?
Women deserve less?
Okay, so that claim. What substantiates that claim?
Because women are incredibly entitled, rude, narcissistic, solipsistic,
so let's
have huge egos.
Okay, so let's zero in on that one point. You said entitled. So women are entitled. How did you come to that conclusion?
Well, I think any heterosexual guy here will agree with me that dating women.
How did you come to that conclusion? What's your reasoning?
So you want my anecdotal answer?
No, I don't. I'm talking about logic. Like, what's your reasoning? This doesn't include.
Okay, I mean, I can draw from many different, I guess, pools, but in general, I've talked to over 4,000 women.
No. This isn't. I'm trying to get what science substantiates that claim. What studies are there that support the claim that women are entitled, and then therefore it necessarily follows that women deserve less?
Women, okay, are opportunistic maters.
Okay. No, okay.
Oh, God.
Okay, now you're doing something different. So we started off with women are entitled, and now you're saying opportunistic maters. Which one, like, let's focus on one at a time.
If you stop interrupting me, then I can explain it out for you, because this is, obviously, I need to start at 1 before I get you to 10.
Okay.
So number 1, women are opportunistic lovers, okay? So what that means is they require far more from the man than the man requires of them. Okay, this is shown all throughout the animal kingdom. The man must be able to provide, protect. Okay, she has her notebook out. Okay, great.
I'm trying to follow your premise.
Sure, yeah. Okay, we'll go through it then.
To see if your conclusion logically
Yeah, sure. So women are opportunistic lovers, okay? And what that means is they require more from their mate than their mate requires of them. Typically, men just want sexual access. Women want security, and that security falls in many different forms: provisioning, protection, leadership, competence, etc. So since women are opportunistic lovers and require more from the guy, okay, what ends up happening is women have a you need to impress me type mindset. Now, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm all for men competing in the hierarchy for the pursuit of reproductive access. However, in 2026, with the explosion of the internet, dating apps, social media, etc., women have become almost insufferable and intolerable with their solipsism, narcissism, entitlement, etc. So in other words, average women think that average men don't qualify for them. Average women think that they're better than average men. So, and this is because a lot of simps blow smoke up women's asses thanks to the internet, and this has them going out thinking that they demand or want the best guy, because also, since we live in a what I call a globalized sexual marketplace, women have access to higher status and more attractive men. So once a woman has access to these kinds of men, she automatically assumes she's at that level. A woman could date 3, 4, 5, 6 different levels above herself. So what ends up happening is they conflate that sexual access or that dating access with this is what I deserve in a long-term relationship, and the two typically don't align. So this is why I say women deserve less, because most guys give them more. So you need to stick out and not be a simp.
Okay. So you went through a series of propositions. The first one is that women are opportunistic lovers. You substantiated that by saying that men just want sex and that women require more. Now let's examine what that means. So saying that women require more and that men only want sex, they only require sex, that is basically
it is the predominant thing we look for.
Saying that it's so now you're making a universal claim for all men that women, like men, just want sex.
No, that is the predominant reason we talk to women in the first place.
So
if women didn't have vaginas, we would not talk to you guys.
Okay, you do that because
most women are insufferable and annoying.
No,
so most guys would not talk to you if you didn't have a vagina.
Great. So that reason.
And that's the God honest truth.
Just. Wow.
I'm listening, but I'm just being real with you. Like, men typically only deal with women for sexual access. That's it.
Cool. So maybe men who reduce women to sexual objects do that, though it's not necessarily the case that all men do that. There are men who do talk to women because women do offer friendship. They offer...
no guy wants to be friends with women. Most guys sit in the friend zone because it's a strategy to try to get laid later.
So you don't do that.
I'm sorry?
So you don't do that. And so...
whether I do it or not is irrelevant. What I'm saying is that when guys have allegedly platonic relationships with women as friendships, they typically have ulterior motives. They want to get laid.
So
being friends with women has no benefit for a man at all.
Wow.
Very little. Unless she has some type of situation where she can assist them, whatever. But in most male-female friendships, men derive almost no benefit from that friendship.
What about gay men who are friends with women?
I'm sorry?
What about men who are friends with women?
They don't count because, well, they don't even hang out with women a lot of times.
Well, so why don't they count? And why don't they count? Men who are friends with women, why don't they?
Well, to keep the conversation like concise, heterosexual men typically don't derive benefit from being friends with women.
Okay. So it's 3:01. Do you want to keep going?
What was that?
It's 3:01. Do you want to keep going?
Can we finish at least this one? Okay, we'll finish this. We'll give you, so you're the last one. So
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I guess Jesus saves, it's over.
Finish what you were going to say. You're good. Go ahead. We can hear you.
No, do not joke about that. I'm trying to knock it.
Here, you can finish what...
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
So
Jesus is a Jewish Messiah.
Guys, let her finish because
Okay.
she's the last one. Let her finish what she was saying. Go ahead.
okay.
Go
Well,
ahead, finish.
I guess
We were on the topic of
to-
platonic friendships and how it doesn't work out for men's favors. How it doesn't.
Yes, so men
yeah.
who only view women as sexual objects aren't able to be friends with women, but there are men who do not view women as sexual objects. And so the reason why I was bringing up the example of is because men aren't sexually attracted to women by definition, right? And so just knowing that there are men who are friends with women and aren't sexually attracted to them, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show you why your claim is not a universal claim. And you seem to keep going back and forth on whether or not it's a universal claim, and it's because you are drawing upon personal experience.
I'm speaking in general.
Okay, you say general, universal, I say universal. So
Most men that are friends with women are friends with women with ulterior motives. Does that mean that every single guy that's friends with a female has ulterior motives? No, but a lot of them do. A lot of them, like if we took 10 guys that are friends with women, probably 7 to 8 of them are trying to get laid. The other 2 might actually look at it as a platonic friendship. But the majority of the time, they're not. And the reason why is because women simply don't provide enough value from a platonic friendship perspective to justify being friends with them, because men almost always have to bring more to the table. You get boyfriend energy, you get someone you could complain to, you get protection, all this crap. All the boyfriend stuff without giving up the girlfriend stuff.
okay.
That's the issue with platonic friendship, allegedly. Go ahead.
Okay. So
Stumped, I guess?
what? No, it's not that I'm stumped. It's just that what you are saying logically does not.
It makes perfect sense logically.
Make
Men
sense.
want to...
To your mind, no, to your mind, for men who only view women as sexual objects, and they only value women insofar as the women can provide some kind of satisfaction for the man, sure, then your view applies. But what I'm saying is that your view does not apply broadly. Like
It actually
for
does.
all men. Okay.
Okay,
so
what are human beings put on earth to do?
have fun and live and hang
Okay.
out with our friends.
Let's translate the womanese. Have sex and have kids, right?
Okay,
So-
that's what you think
Yeah,
because
okay.
you
We know what that means when
are-
girls say that. So
So-
we're put on earth to have sex and have kids. Like, that's why we're here, right? So the man's sexual urge is extremely strong, okay? You're a female, so you might not understand it. But testosterone makes you horny all the time. One of the main reasons why men deal with women in the first place is for sexual access.
Damn.
Now, some guys go through this surreptitiously, pretending to be your friend. Oh, I'm here in your corner. But the reality is they want to have sex, and that's their mating strategy to get said sex. You guys use different strategies to try to get laid.
Okay, I see that.
In
there
short,
is not
if
anything that I-
women didn't have vaginas, most guys would not talk to you.
So are you talking to me now because you want to have sex with me?
This is actually precisely why I don't talk to women, actually. This is precisely why I only do it when I'm on camera, bro. This shit is frustrating. Bro, this is actually precisely why I don't talk to women off camera. Because it's ridiculous.
No, what? So does your claim hold yes or no?
What? That I only talk to...
No, like you said, men only talk to women because they want to have sex with them. I am a woman. We are talking.
You came up to the microphone to have a debate. This is a completely different scenario than the average male-female scenario and dynamic of talking to each other.
Okay, so...
Yeah, see, this is what I mean when I say women lack critical thinking skills.
No.
It's like, you know what I mean?
See,
it's like, let me just take this one example and try to use this and build my entire argument on it. Are you trying to have sex with me?
No.
Because we're talking right now? It's like,
no. What I was doing, that, I know, I understand, like, it's a... The reason why I said that is to demonstrate why your argument does not hold.
What part of my argument doesn't hold?
Oh, where to start with that one? So you went through a series of propositions, and those propositions in themselves weren't substantiated by any kind of scientific evidence, any kind of peer-reviewed
They're
studies.
literally substantiated by human evolution and biology.
Okay.
Like,
so, but
it's
that's not
literally
that's
biology.
Not,
it's very simple.
No. See, no. See, but are there peer-reviewed studies? Like, are there studies that I can look up right now that say men are only friends with women because they want to only have sex with women, and that's it? Like,
yes.
men do right.
If you pull up studies,
okay.
If you pull up studies, it will tell you that what men look for in women is youth and beauty, which is tied to sex.
So where does that come from? Where does that like desire for youth and beauty come from? I'm trying to challenge like the claims that you make that you take to be true. They're just fundamental.
Okay, so you don't agree that men look for youth and beauty in women?
Okay, what I'm trying to do is understand why you are doing. But it seems to me that based on our conversation,
see, you're focusing more on me than my argument. That's the issue here. This is why you can't formulate an argument. You're more concerned with me and my worldview versus me telling you the biological fact that men are interested in reproduction.
Okay, so what you're doing right now is conflating your worldview with what science is. So you're saying because I believe this and because there are these scientific studies that say this, therefore this. However, we have to challenge the fundamental claims. Why is it that men only value youth and beauty? Is it because we happen to live in a society where women are valued in context to their ability to only reproduce up to a certain age, right? And then after that, women quote unquote expire after a certain age. So see, the thing is that in itself, we cannot even truly say that because that is a social phenomenon that is a product of our society. And so we have to look at the structures that support what it is that we are even trying to understand. And so that's why I'm challenging.
All right, so guys, this proves right now why women need to be second-class citizens again and be put in the kitchen.
No,
this is crazy.
This actually doesn't.
I'm literally telling her the sky's blue, and she's arguing with me, saying, "Well, I think it's green because if I look at it through this lens,
that
it's
is not
this way."
an equivalent analogy. That is not an analogous
Women have a very
situation.
difficult time accepting and understanding biological fact because you guys don't like the fact that men are looked at as success objects. I accept this, while women tend to be looked at as sex objects. This is the reality. I bring resources, you bring sexuality.
So
that's what men look for. There's a reason why, hold on, stop. There's a reason why men universally between 18 to 60 years old find the same exact demographic of female attractive.
Why is that?
18 to 24. That is the golden range that men look for.
Okay.
They don't care about your education,
but you're not going
your status.
further and questioning why. And that's why
you're asking for studies and I'm literally telling you the studies.
No. Okay. Then what journals are they in?
What?
Who are the authors? Where can I find these peer-reviewed studies? What's the DOI? Where can I find these peer-reviewed studies?
Yeah, look it up. If we can't even be on common ground that men are interested in women from a sexual replication value, then we can't even have a conversation because you're in Looney Tune world. You're literally you don't even accept basic reality that
so
men.
Because I don't accept your reality, then that means that
No, you don't accept
wrong.
reality.
No,
and that's actually a privilege that this is interesting.
No.
Guys,
See,
as you guys can see here, hold on, stop.
Like no. Because
this is
what
very
you're
interesting
doing right now is doing this like weird
this
back
woman
and forth, trying to
is living in a Looney Tune world, and she's allowed to live in a Looney Tune world because she's a female. That is a privilege that only women have, where they could be this delusional, this unaware, lack this much critical thinking, and still make it by in life. If we took her brain and put it in a man's body, he'd be homeless.
No.
Because this girl's
See,
low
that's what
IQ.
you are doing.
This is
That's what
incredible.
you are doing.
And
You're
she's
the
a
one
college
coming-
student too.
You are the one coming to
Like
college
this is the perfect
campuses
example of higher
trying
education
to-
does not mean that you're higher IQ. This is crazy.
Okay.
Like you can't even accept biological reality.
See, because it is not
feminism for you guys.
Hardline fact, right? It's not like the same kind of truth as 2 + 2 = 4. That is a fundamental truth about our world, right? And so I'm trying to draw the distinction between these analytic truths.
You know what's
and then
funny?
these, like,
I'm looking at everybody
synthetic
here.
truths.
They all think you're retarded. I'm being honest with you.
No.
You can't see them, but like they all think you're retarded. I'm not even trying to be an asshole here, but we need to.
Look,
this is why we need to bring
I'm
bullying
not
back, right?
thinking about-
Bullying is good.
I'm not thinking
because
about them.
here's the
I'm
thing:
looking
women
at-
never get
no.
bullied for their stupidity.
No.
This is gonna be. This is
I'm
going to
not-
remind her, like, oh shit, maybe I should think before I speak. Because if a guy was on here saying this ridiculous stuff, we'd all be laughing at him like you're retarded, dude. But like with women, you guys get a privilege of being morons just because you got tits and a vagina, and we got some simps here in the back, probably a Jew, and like we don't say anything to you guys because we don't have sex with you. Women are able to say preposterous things because we want to get laid.
So
it's
I'm
actually
looking,
incredible.
Okay, great.
Incredible.
So, great. Okay. I'm looking at my students in the crowd here. To my students, my female students, my male students, this is not the way that argumentation works. And I want you to know that no matter who you are, just please do your best to exercise your reasoning, develop it, because this is not it. And I just want.
Well, there's a reason you should be in the kitchen, and it's pretty clear right now.
My students
Speaking
here,
of reasoning, you should be making a sandwich for a man who's superior to you because clearly, cognitively, you have some issues. This is nuts.
Cognitively have
Only
some
women have the
issues.
privilege of being retarded, gentlemen. Get the book. Why Women Deserve Even Less.